where the shadows creep. A's eyes watch close, no secrets to keep. Patriots whisper through circuits and lies. Kojima's warning in a soldier's cold eyes. Deadest dreams choke, free will's undone. The arsenal roars, no place left to run. From solid snakes fight to a world turned grey. He feared the code that would steal us away. Shadow code, it binds the soul. Kojima's fear, the A's control. In the neon dark, where the future's torn, a creator's heart, both cursed and reborn. Speaks of friends in the silicon glow. He's a canvas, not just a foe. From stranding shores to a new frontier, he weaves with machines, though the dread's still near. A dance with ghosts in a world remade. Kojima's vision, both light and shade. A cautious hand to shape the future on a digital strand. In the 80s haze, where the Sims still wail, Kojima where the brave ones fail. From fear to fire, his stories retold. A creator's soul in the shadow code.
There we go. Now I'm on the right thing. God, you know that this is how it is. It's always like boomer shit whenever I'm trying to get this goddamn thing working. Anyway, hi, how's it going? How you doing? Welcome to the show. We're going to make some folk angry tonight. They're already here. They're already angry. They're already stewing in their juices. Wildly upset that I'm talking about things that they don't like. Anyway, that was a banging song. That was a banging track. Surprised it actually was able to do the Terminator thing. I was really surprised about that. Feels like it should be something that it isn't. Anyway, Kunst here says that Transformers movie, Transformers 1 or 1 sucks. I don't know what you're talking about. The new one, the animated movie Transformers 1, I haven't seen it. It's on my thing. Hey, David, what's going on? Joey, how you doing? Mo, what up, man? Parallax AI wins again. Yes. AI always wins, my friend. Wins in the. I don't even know. It's not even the thing I care about. I don't really care about anything. What do you think? God, it's over. I mean, hold on. I was asked to make you a moderator. Parallax. So I'm gonna make you a moderator. So let's see. Anyway, yeah, I know Donovan's here. Feel free to just kind of mute him out. It's fine. I can still see when he posts. Don't block him, but if you want to just troll him, I gave him, but here's the thing. There's a link. Donovan can come on in or he can shut the fuck up. He's never going to come on in because a narcissist will never take accountability. So there you go on that one, right? It's an open door. Mass suicides are coming in from the Kojima tards. I don't look. I have said on many instances that Hideo Kojima is overrated as fuck, and I stand by those instances. But I also have never once said that the man is not talented. I just think that he is very self-indulgent, and that to me is the biggest problem with Hideo Kojima. Okay, his not only are his games stories largely pants on head stupid. Okay. And they're very self-indulgent. But the guy knows how to make a good game, even if the story is crap. Okay. So we have to kind of keep that one in mind. It's like Metal Gear Solid 5. I went through it a few months ago on the Xbox. Fuck, dude, great game. I know a lot of the big problems come from Konami. So, I'm not sitting there saying that's all him or nothing like that. But what I am trying to say here is that it's still like the overall stuff is like, what the fuck, man? Anyway. Let's see. Joey here asking, let me ask you this. Why do you think people don't like Tron Legacy? I don't understand the hate. I'll tell you this, man. I've never heard that there was hatred for that movie. I mean that, like, legitimately. Everyone I've ever talked to about Tron Legacy has always been like, fuck yeah, dog. This is great. They've all said the soundtrack is based, red-pilled, very good, very great. The story I've heard, a little bit like kind of whatever, kind of redundant, but a lot of those kind of stories are, right? You're a user in the grid sort of thing. But it really kind of matched where we were tonally in 2010 when it came out. And it's a solid movie. It's a good movie. It's rewatchable. Like I said, the soundtrack is amazing. It sucks you in visually. For 2010, it was mind-blowingly good. Fuck, dude, for 2025, it's still mind-blowingly good, So I don't know the hate for Legacy. Ares, I've heard good things about. I've heard a lot of good things about. I think that a lot of people like it who have seen it. I think a lot of people don't like Jared Leto. That's a big factor. He's got some accusations kind of hanging over his head, but it wasn't enough for Disney to put him on ice, which tells me that either Disney doesn't care or these are some unfounded allegations. They tried doing the same thing to Bryan Singer back in 2014, and that was all blown out of the water, and then Bryan Singer, he's a weirdo, so like there's that, but for that particular incident, that didn't happen. So it's hard to tell. You never know. Like, you never know what's gonna either blow up and catch traction, or what's going to end up just kind of being swept under the rug. One thing I find to be really funny is there's one person who's here who we find to be annoying, who before the movie came out was bitching and moaning about Jared Leto. Still went and saw it opening weekend. Still paid money to go see it, and then has been defending the movie ever since. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like, where are your morals? Where are your morals? I personally, again, until he's convicted in a court of law, like, I don't know what's true or not. Okay, like, allegations put forward in a charging document are allegations that are put forward by a grand jury, by prosecutors. They are alleging those claims and then have to back those claims up. So again, until we know everything, until we see what's been allowed as evidence, what's been proven in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt, we have to then maintain, a sense of skepticism, because that is how the law works. Anyway, Let's see here. David says, I think AI might join the list of undefeated things. Father Time, Mother Nature, and AI for the win. Well, AI is it's just technologically advancing itself. That's really what a lot of it is, you know. And that's where more and more people, I think, are seeing the advancements and everything, and they're seeing what can be done, and they're seeing that there are elements of it that can be beneficial, right? Like James Cameron has said that like this can help cut down on costs, right? What was it? Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog has said it can help cut down on costs. A lot of other people have come out and talked about that. George Miller, Jason Blum. I mean, it's like, this is where if you have Hollywood and you have gaming, the two most predominant entertainment ventures, right, or industries. I mean, you know, and maybe even music, coming together and saying like this can be used beneficially. And even you have musicians like Timbaland, well-known, well-loved musician like Timbaland, who is like using Suno to help remix his music, to help finish up tracks he wasn't able to do beforehand. All this is doing is allowing us to work at speeds previously unheard of. And then people, you know, look, I'm not going to sit there and like glaze it like there's nothing wrong with it. No, there are things to be concerned about. There is privacy information to be concerned about. There, of course, are the training data sets that do need to be, you know, like talked about. There does need to be regulation. I've never said don't regulate it. I've always said regulation is key. Okay. But we also have to remember that we are currently in a Cold War, an arms race, if you will, with China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and any other one of our adversaries. And so people are looking at this as the next big evolutionary thing. And in many ways it is. It's not there yet. It won't be for quite some time, but we're starting to see the first baby steps of what is going to eventually be the future that we were promised. But like I said, there are downsides. Do I like the data center stuff? No. But NVIDIA in the last couple of years, you know, has also started to figure out ways to make the GPUs smaller and more power effective and cost effective. And as that technology begins to expand, we will see that particular data center situation start to kind of shrink. What that could mean is that there might be an opening up of more nuclear power plants as a way to help try and mitigate some of this kind of stuff. There are people out there who are pro renewable energy. You know, they want a net zero nuclear world. We're never going to have that. And I don't even know if you're going to be able to have all that. But nuclear, you know, has the ability to be cleaner at times. And if done well, you know, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that we're seeing people come around to it, I think, because they realize exactly like where, you know, like things are going. And that's a big issue even with Kojima here. Mo here, member for 41 months. Thank you, Mo. Says Matt is the true snake eater. That makes it sound like you're saying that I suck cock. And I disagree with that allegation. I'm a total glazer. I'm not a total glazer. I just like it for what I like it for. Let's see here. Saulo says Jim Caviezel and Monica Bellucci are out of Passion of the Christ sequel due to scheduling conflicts. Monica Bellucci, I would agree with. She's going to do whatever the fuck it is Tim Burton is doing because they're dating. Jim Caviezel, what has he been doing lately? The answer to that is nothing. Naughty Dog can cut down the cost by firing Neil. Yeah. I'll give you that one. Let me see. Oh, they broke up? Okay. Was it because like her character was completely pointless for fucking Beetlejuice? All I know is Tim Burton has bedded both Helena Bonham Carter and Monica Bellucci. Weird nerdy kid from Burbank ended up netting two of the hottest chicks in Hollywood, like ever. Man's a legend just for that. You know what I mean? This is how it goes. Passion 3 Jesus versus ChatGPT. Let's fucking go. Free Naughty Dog from Cuckman. I mean, look, man, I think Neil Druckmann's a good writer. I think he's a good world builder. I think he's a good storyteller. I also think he's a fucking sanctimonious prick, you know? And so it's one of those things where people, and look, man, people feel the same fucking way about me too. You know what I'm saying? Right? Not that I'm like all those things, but like that I'm a bit of a sanctimonious prick at times, you know? I totally get all that stuff. But one of the things we kind of have to remember here is that, you know, some people are able to get in these positions and do pretty well, you know, and that's kind of what happens there. Anyway, have I been to the IMAX in Seattle? Dude, there's like so many. What do you mean, like the IMAX in Seattle? There's other IMAXs in Seattle. And the answer to that is no. I haven't gone to an IMAX in Seattle. We don't have a 70 millimeter up in Seattle, unfortunately. The nearest 70 millimeter theater is in fucking Sacramento, which is like 700 miles south of me. David here says, I believe that Jim Caviezel is now signed on for a project for Angel Studios. I don't know if that's the case, because like I was kind of thinking about that, right? Because I saw that Angel Studios has got a new trailer coming out. They put out a new trailer for this Young Washington movie. It looks all right. All right. For the trailer, it made it look all right. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. It looked all right. You know, and then I'm just thinking about it going like, you know, it's been a couple years since The Sound of Freedom like did gangbusters. And the only person from that team that they've gone back to work with or that they've wanted to work with again is the director. And I feel like every studio in Hollywood would have been looking at that director being like, hey, man, your $14 million movie made a couple $100 million worldwide, you know, like on a very interesting marketing campaign. Do you want to come work for us? Instead, I think I think Angel's like, let's get this guy back. And that's perfectly fucking fine. I don't like Angel Studios. I don't have an affinity for them. I think that they definitely like, there needs to be like an FTC investigation into The Sound of Freedom for box office manipulation. I think that's an interesting way. Honestly, more people should do what they did if it's not illegal, because it fucking worked. And I don't understand why more people don't fucking do this. I legitimately don't understand how you can sit there and look at The Sound of Freedom and go, okay, because for one, it's been a couple years. Do you guys remember that movie about the child traffickers and whatever, like God's children are not for sale, right? And it was all fucking lies. It was all fucking lies. The whole movie was lies. It was meant to be a biopic, meant to be this fucking, you know, this true story based on a true story. Whole thing was full of shit. And then the other guy, the guy's name who was behind it, I forget his name. He ended up like getting fired off of his own organization. That was like the one that was founded from like the movie and shit. Like after like the events of the film, like that didn't happen, whatever. But anyway, what Angel did is Angel tapped into this Christian base, man. And like, it was solid. It was good. They went there and they had this little thing at the end of the movie, you know, like scan a QR code, buy a ticket for somebody else, pay it forward. So people go to the theaters and they're watching it and they're all, oh my God, I just watched this man rescue children from the jungles of South America. He's a saint. He's a saint fighting demons. More people need to see this movie. Oh, I can just scan this QR code, give them money. You give them money. You effectively donate money to Angel Studios, which puts that money in an account. And they had enough in there. I think they had like $40 million. Or enough for like 40,000 tickets or something. It was so much fucking money sitting in this account, earning interest. So then what happens is you go to their website and you want to get a ticket. You request a ticket. So they buy you a ticket for free because like people have donated money, right? So they're not scamming anybody. So then they give that money to Fandango, and Fandango then distributes it to the theater, whatever, right? So they still end up getting profits back from that ticket sale. So not only did they get the initial ticket sale price that they got from, and I think they four-walled the movies themselves. Like they rented the space. They didn't have a distributor, I don't think. Or if they did, it was just them distributing. So they got even more fucking money out of it. So what they did is they got, you know, they had people buy the ticket to see the movie. So they got the money that way, right? The 50% or whatever. Then those people would then throw down another whatever, however much it costs for like an average movie ticket price. Let's say $10. So that goes into an account. It sits there. So they're sitting on that money. It's accruing interest, like I said. People then go to the website, have them buy movie tickets, using that fund, which then goes back into to the theater, and they then get half of that money back minus the taxes and fees after the fact. So they're still going to get like half that ticket price back. So they're like the money that they're getting at the end of the campaign, if that money is still sitting there, they never said what they were going to do with it. As far as I understand it, they kept it. And any of the money and any of the tickets that sold through that giveaway program, they got like half of that money back. So they just double dipped and double dipped and double dipped and double dipped and double dipped, and they made so much fucking money. And I looked at that and I went like, and I was talking about this 2 years ago. And I'm just like, this is like the perfect way to like sell fucking tickets. Like, because imagine it's like you go see a movie, okay, like a fucking horror movie or some shit like that, right? And it really is good. It's really good, and then you just fucking buy a ticket for somebody else and you pass it along. So it's just kind of crazy. Wait, an evangelical propaganda is full of lies? Absolutely it is, yeah. Is Angel Studios a right-wing Christian film? Yeah, it is. Do I still watch South Park? I do. I know there's a new episode tonight. I need to watch it. I should launch Devil Studios. Yeah, that'd be my AI film company. Matt doesn't want to go to Seattle because backseat ice is waiting for him. Dude, I'm going to be in Seattle all tomorrow. What are you talking about? I'll be there for my job. Christians love to waste money on bullshit. I mean, the thing is, though, but dude, so do a lot of people. Right? A lot of people. Christians do it because they think it's going to get them into heaven. But it doesn't matter. Like, look, yes, the religious angle of what Angel Studios did probably isn't transferable to like anyone else. Okay, like any other genre, let's be real. It probably isn't possible to do that. Now, what is possible is to tap into something that, like to grassroots that shit, like a horror film. It wouldn't work with like a drama. But then I go back like 20 years, man. I go back like 20 some odd years and I start thinking about like My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And I love that damn movie. And that movie is a $5 million small comedy film adapted from a stage play produced by Tom Hanks and his wife. It came on out, and then word of mouth started spreading. And it started getting more and more theaters and started making more and more money. And then it made its way in the top 10. And it worked its way up the top 10 through word of mouth alone to like number 2. For over 20 weeks, it was in the top 10. $5 million movie pulled in over $200 million in the early 2000s. So think about how much of a return on investment that was. Right? That's why they did like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the TV show. And like they did 2 more movies, which I haven't seen. And I don't know if they're any good or not. I might do a binge one day and watch all 3 of them because I really do like those movies quite a bit. I like the first movie quite a bit, a lot. And so there's that, right? So I don't know. I have no fucking idea what it's going to be. So, and it's had 2 sequels in 20 years. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My AI company should be called Polar Bear LLC. Fuck you. The word of the day is. Anyway, I'm drinking this like 0 sugar Kirkland Vita Rain water. 0 calories, vitamin C and B12. 0 sugars. It's really tasty. Oh, I'm telling you all that. None of y'all give a fuck. Whatever happened to gaming studios now like Santa Monica? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, David, it's not that you have to look at what it was competing with at the time. And it went up, dude, it spent like almost 4 months or something like that or 4 to 5 months in the top 10. Okay. It's like it was fighting against a lot of other stuff. It really, really, really had a lot of positive word of mouth. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's super good. But that's what I mean. But then again, go back to June 1982. Okay, let's go way the fuck back, right? Way the fuck back. Look at what was coming out the weekend. Blade Runner and The Thing were in theaters. E.T. was number 1 that weekend. Blade Runner was number 2. Thing was like number 11. Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan was in theaters. I forget what else was in theaters at the time, but that was a stacked weekend. You know, these are like classics beyond classics. And you know, and so yeah, movies always kind of fight for the attention, and a lot of movies kind of find their own at the end of the day on streaming, on a home video. And this is why I don't understand this pushback against physical media. I really don't understand the pushback against physical media. Having access to it, I think, keeps it alive in many ways, because you can just like loan it to a friend and shit like that, and like give it to people, and you know, and everything. The downside though is the format differences. It was easier when it was just either VHS or DVD, because it was just the one format. And then the Blu-ray stuff, and Blu-ray was more expensive, and now Blu-ray, you know, Blu-ray all these 20 years later is like super fucking cheap, and 4Ks are there, and who knows what's going to come next. And I don't know if I don't know if we're going to see a death of physical media or not. I'm going to support it as long as I can. Yeah, Photocop is right. You know, look at the summer of 2008, banger after banger. God damn, dude. Let's start off with fucking the first week of May 2008. Iron Man. The next weekend, Speed Racer. The next weekend, I think that was Prince Caspian, right? I don't know why they released a Narnia movie in the summer, but whatever. And then after that was Indiana Jones. You had Wanted, Hancock, Wall-E, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, The Dark Knight, The Incredible Hulk, Pineapple Express, Step Brothers. Did I say Hellboy 2, The Golden Army? That was out. And Tropic Thunder came out. Kung Fu Panda came out that summer. I mean, like, yeah, the summer of 2008. And I worked at the drive-in. We had like most of those movies at one point in time or another during that summer. That summer was banging. And I mean that, like, you know, that was the summer, man. I was like at the theater every single week. And even if you go to the beginning of that year, that's Cloverfield, January 18th, 2008. You know, so there's a lot of good stuff there. The Boogie Night 4K Steelbook. Yeah, I saw the cover art, man. That's so bad. That's like so bad. It is pretty terrible. Joey here says, I got my physical copy of The Materialists based. I got an email this morning. They got me. They got me, guys. I'm a sucker. I'm such a whore for a good deal. I got an email from Scream Factory, and they're like, today is the last day of our Shocktober sale. And I'm like, all right, I'll see what you got. I picked up Faculty, Land of the Dead, and Vampires. And had enough for free shipping, and then I'm just paying for it over time. But I wanted the Faculty, I fucking wanted Vampires, and I am collecting the Romero films. I need Dawn of the Dead. I think that's a European thing. I'm gonna have to fucking hunt that one out. And I don't know if Day of the Dead is on 4K yet, but it is my goal to get all of the Romero films on 4K that they have out. I'm waiting for Diary of the Dead in 4K. I don't think that's going to happen, but I did buy the Steelbook of it last year on Blu-ray, so I'm excited about that. I don't think you could take Diary of the Dead and put it into 4K. I did find, by the way, Survival of the Dead, Romero's last movie. I found it in a DVD, in a Blu-ray bin for $5. So I bought it. I haven't watched it yet. I hear it's not very good. Don't care. I now have collectively all of his films in one format or another, but I need to get the 4Ks of Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Also, by the way, Parallax, fuck you. Speed Racer is an unmitigated classic. That movie is so unbelievably beautiful to look at. and so fun and so funny. It had the problem of coming out the week after Iron Man. I think had it come out at a different time, people would have been more open to it. It's a good movie. And I think it just like I just unfortunately it's the last good film the Wachowskis made. I don't even know what the fuck you're all talking about with Speed Racer slander. Have I seen Black Phone 2 yet? It's not in theaters. Is it? I thought in theaters this Friday. Or is it in theaters? Yeah, it opens up this Friday, so it's not out yet. I don't know if I'm gonna go see it in theaters. I mean, I want to. I really, really liked Black Mask, and I want to see what they're gonna do with this one. But this one, to me, like, here's the thing. My issue with Black Mask 2 is that from the trailer, it just looks like they made him Freddy Krueger, and that's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be any good or not. It's gonna be a problem. So, so there's all that. I have no idea. I should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. Anyway, we all right. Where are we at? Catch up on the chat here. What did Ready at Dawn Arturo? What are you talking about here, man? Whatever happened to gaming studios? Now listen, God of War games. All right, what are you technically referring to? I don't quite know what you're talking about there. Have I seen Troll Hunter? Yes, I did. I also saw Troll. And they're doing Troll 2. I don't know if you saw that, the Norwegian film. They did Troll, and that a couple years ago. It was like basically King Kong with trolls in Sweden. It was fine. Or Norway. I thought it was pretty fun. And they're doing a sequel. So that should be pretty cool too. I'm excited to watch that. It comes out, I think, in a couple months or next month or something. And yeah, I saw Troll Hunter. Oh, dude, when that movie fucking came out, man, I was living back in LA. And I just remember seeing the trailer, and it's all Troll. You're like, yeah, fucking Troll. Point of view, found footage. And then I watched the movie, and it's like such an awesome setup, like really atmospheric, really moody, really kind of captures like, you know, like the Norwegian forest and everything, right? And then like the reveal of the first troll, I thought was kind of dumb. You know, it was kind of dumb. I thought, like, all right, and whatever. And then, of course, at the end of it, you have the gigantic, like, you know, Eiffel Tower sized troll stomping through the you know, the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, all right, that goes a little bit too far. Sometimes in those kind of movies, it starts to kind of expand it into a place where it just doesn't really work. It's kind of like one of the things I really enjoyed about World War Z was how it went from like the macro to the micro. So like, you know, they're traversing the world, and then at the end they end up at the CDC center, and then like, you know, it becomes this kind of like really intense claustrophobic environment. And I thought it worked out pretty well. But yes, I've seen it. Let's see here. I believe the Dawn of the Dead 4K from Second Sight is now out of print. Yep. I'm gonna have to find those somewhere. Moonfall. I'm gonna fucking demod you for saying that. Joey here says, I saw that K-pop Demon Hunters is doing another re-release. That's true. Yep, tickets go on sale on Friday. If you want to get your hands on the Halloween sing-along edition of K-pop Demon Hunters, you can absolutely do it. You are going to be able to go back and watch Huntrix once again fight the Saja boys on the big screen. Might take my kids, might not. I'm not too sure. How do I back up my 4Ks to my PC? I don't actually. I watch them in the player. You know what? There are people I know that do that back everything up. I mean, I know that they do it. I haven't asked them specifically about it. But like the process for like ripping those discs, because they're like fucking like up to like 60 gigs or some shit like that, you know? So I'm like, do I need like a server like 3 terabytes or some shit? And how many movies is like 3 terabytes? Not much, if you think about it, you know? But look, you can download a 1080p, you know, H265 or X265 fucking codec and, you know, encoded movie for like, you know, 1,500 megabytes, gig and a half. You know what I mean? And the quality is fine. So you can do that if you want to have it as a digital backup, because when you stream, you're literally getting about the same as that type of encoding. Maybe a little bit better. But again, even streaming shit, like streaming 4K stuff is kind of pointless right now because like it just doesn't, if you don't have the right setup for it, it just looks like shit. Let's see here. The world building is great in Troll Hunters. I agree. The ending was a little bit much. Coonster says, is Gremlins 3 still happening? I have no idea. Given the fact that Warner Brothers is working on a Jetsons movie with Jim Carrey apparently to play George Jetson, that was announced today. They're in talks for that one. Little cray-cray. Don't quite know. Let's see. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Five Nights at Freddy's 2 might be not great sequel than first. I don't know, man. I mean, like, they only really can go up on that one, I think. Hey, Tony, how you doing? I'm pretty good, man. Because they are Sony studios that made a lot of money, are you slow now? No, but you're typing like one sentence at a time, and it just isn't making any fucking sense because like you're back on the conversation or whatever. Let's see. FNAF 2 is going to be 100 times better than the first. I don't know, man. Same production team, same writer, same director. No, Scott Cawthon's writing it. Scott Cawthon is writing it. Now the question becomes though, will it be red pilled? Because Scott Cawthon got canceled for donating to conservatives. That's a question. All right. So do my 4Ks play better on my Series X or my Sony player? My Sony player. My Series X has an issue with the with Bluetooth headphones. It's out of sync. It's actually an ongoing issue, apparently. I didn't realize that until I was watching Swordfish. I'm like, why is this like out of sync? And I couldn't, turn off the headphones, and I couldn't find my remote for my Sony player. But no, my Sony player is actually way better to play 4Ks than the Xbox. I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine provided it didn't have any issues with the Bluetooth headphones. So that could be a TV thing, right? I don't think so. I was looking it up, and apparently it's an Xbox thing. So, let's see here. Mo says K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters. This is news to me. It was announced today. Do I have any interest in The Running Man? Yes, but you have to understand that the 1987 version is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm going into it with the expectation of liking it, but thinking about it in an entirely different way. And I really hope there's no Easter eggs. I really hope there's no callbacks. I really hope they just do what they can to like make it more like the original book. Okay. And then, whatever, and like do its thing that way, then try to like be like, it's kind of like the Total Recall remake. I didn't mind it. It's not great. I still prefer the Verhoeven movie. But it was, more in line with the book or with the story. And so I feel like that's kind of like, like hopefully what they're going to do here. Where's Donovan? He was here. He left. He went home. He cried. I told him to either come on in and talk or to shut the fuck up. And he basically, kind of shut the fuck up. So, but there's a weird thing. I want to talk about some weird shit that's going on. Like, I will get to these super chats here. Let's see here. Garrick for 5. Thank you, buddy. If I could give any advice to James Gunn, what would it be? If I could give any advice to James Rodriguez Gunn, I don't know if that's his name or not. I would, here we go. This is the image I used for the article I wrote yesterday. It would be to shut the fuck up at this point in time, right? It's not that he's done anything inherently bad. It's not that he's done anything stupid. The big issue that I see with James Gunn right now is that Gunn is trying to control as much as he can control. And the problem is that when you put anything out into the world, any kind of creative endeavor, it doesn't matter what it is no longer, quote unquote, yours once it's out there. Okay. People have the right to critique it. They have the right to comment on it. And you have the right to respond if you want. Okay. You have the right to respond if you want. But for the most part, you don't really have to. You don't have to. Because it just, you're never going to please everybody, for one. Everyone's a critic, for two. And you have to be happy enough with the work that you're putting out to let it stand on its own with you. Right? It's like, one of the things I say when I talk about In Search Of is that, I'm like, nobody will either love this movie more or hate this movie more than me. It's deeply personal to me in many ways. People have absolutely positively torn it to fucking shreds to my face, and I'm right there with them. I'm like, yeah, no, this could have absolutely been better, I agree, but I still had fun making it, and I've had other people come to me and say that it's like one of their all-time favorite movies, which is really flattering. And then we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about it from the positive. You know what I mean? Because once you put it out there, it's not yours. You can't control it. And I think people need to really fucking remember that shit. All right. Now, there are good faith arguments and bad faith arguments that do happen on everything, but I think people, again, you have a group of people, and this is kind of a wide group of people. There's like no one in particular that are always looking to like defend what they want to defend without ever taking any kind of valid criticism about it. You saw that with like Snyder, right? Like there's a lot to critique about all of his movies. That doesn't stop me from loving his movies, but there's a lot to critique, and even with James Gunn, Creature Commandos had a lot to critique. Still thought it was great. Superman had a lot to critique. Still thought it was great. Peacemaker, that finale was not as good as it could have been, not as strong as it could have been, because it was focused more, because the salvation thing at the end of that was more of an afterthought rather than the main point. But the main point was a love story that I thought was really sweet, and I'm glad we got to see play out. I thought that was really, really, really sweet, and I enjoyed watching the story of two very broken people who care about each other very deeply kind of come to terms with that, But we can also sit there and critique the fact that Peacemaker kind of raped the other Harcourt in the other dimension because she thought he was somebody else. Okay. He basically Louis Skolnicked her. All right. Yeah. Down to a chromosomal level. Chris from our Earth and Chris from that Earth were the same, but that was it. The other Chris was violent. He was an addict. He had his problems, and that was one of the reasons why they broke up. And then this Chris doesn't have those particular proclivities, but he also wasn't honest with Amelia from that other planet, that other dimension, and they had sex. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, that's effectively sexual assault. And of course, no one's going to bring that up. Right? Kind of like Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman 1984. Like she fucked Steve Trevor, but it was that other guy's body. And even though it was Steve Trevor in that other guy's body, it wasn't Steve Trevor's body, because that got blown up in a plane in World War II or World War I, sorry. And we criticized that happening as well. And so I think it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of have to, like go with it, I guess, a little bit. There's always things to critique. You can still like them. You can not like them. But yeah, I would tell Gunn that's that basically. Let's see here. Consent was given. Consent was not given. Consent was given under false pretenses. Okay. Consent was given under false pretenses. So there you go. Dang it, Matt, this bit. What are you talking about, this bit? You're saying he's as bad as Wonder Woman. He's kind of worse, because Wonder Woman was like, in her mind, she saw Steve Trevor, but like no one else did. They all saw that guy. So it's kind of like a weird thing how that worked. In Peacemaker, he just flat out, like, he was, he was pretending to be somebody else. And it was an alternate version of him, but it's not him, right? Because that person was killed and then dismembered and then incinerated. And then he went and had sex with her, and she thought that it was that Chris. That's considered sexual assault. It's kind of funny in the sense that it happens, all right? All right. Let's see here. Okay. Here we go. Garrick, thank you. What's the difference between a horror movie and a thriller? Would you say Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie or a thriller? I would say Silence of the Lambs is a thriller. But it actually kind of scary. Nothing about Sinners was scary. I know that's why you're bringing it up. There's no fear in Sinners. There's no tension in Sinners. There is no moment of dread in Sinners. There is, you watch the movie fucking, From Dusk Till Dawn. And do you think that movie would be considered a horror film? Or like an action horror, I guess is what they might call it. Okay, but it's a hyphen. All right, but there's nothing you could call a horror thriller. Fine, if you wanna make the claim about Sinners, I'll say it's a horror thriller with 90% thriller. Fuck, dude, 99% thriller. There's nothing scary. There is no emotional fearfulness for characters in that movie. You do not feel for them outside of the one scene when you see like Jack. And he's like floats down or, whatever, when Mary's out there or whatever the fuck it was, right? Like that's the only real time you're like, oh shit, she could be in danger. And you know that she ends up getting turned because it was in the fucking trailer. But even that whole stuff, nothing about that movie was scary. Nothing about that movie was frightening. Nothing about that movie was suspenseful. Everything was very straightforward. Everything was very much on a platter. And that's one of the reasons my complaint with that film is it was a good movie. It was well written, well done up until that third act, which was just bad. As I said, now I'm going to go on this again. Coogler wrote himself into a corner. He needed a finale, and that's why he threw at the finale the way that he did. Realized, we're still going to be pretty short. We haven't given anybody a real good action sequence yet in this film. So let's just kill a whole bunch of Klansmen. And I'm not even against the killing of the Klansmen. I think the Klansmen as a villain. Take the movie Trespass. William Sadler, Bill Paxton, Ice Cube, Ice-T. Okay. Two firefighters, hear about stolen gold, stolen treasure, basically, right? In an old building from a guy who's dying in a fire. They decide to go find it themselves. They go in there. They end up overseeing gang members killing another gang member, led up by Ice-T. They end up holding Ice-T's brother hostage while they're trying to find the money. They find the gold. They're stuck with the gold. Now they're stuck with everything else. Okay. Like there's fear, there's tension in that thriller because of the setup of everything. Sinners doesn't have any of that, right? There's very little. Like I said, so thrillers, I would say horror movie like fucking Terrifier is a horror movie. It builds on suspense. And makes you, like more fearful because there's more of that happening. More like, death and mayhem happening. A thriller is something that's there to kind of get your heart rate up, but you're still kind of relatively safe. If you look at the ending of Silence of the Lambs has atmosphere building throughout the entire movie. And the ending of that film with the whole night vision in the house with her looking for Buffalo Bill and it's really intense because we're seeing it then from his perspective. The whole movie had been from Clarice's perspective at that point, but at the very end of that movie, it's his perspective. So that complete character shift is what gives us that suspense because now we've broken the narrative that we've had the entire time and replaced it with something that is completely out of our control, right? Because we've been with her the whole time. Now we're with him. And that change very much added to the suspense, but I wouldn't call it a horror film. I'd call it a thriller, one that I very much like to rewatch and shit. It's such a good fucking movie. Anyway, okay. What do I think about Zachary Levi officially joining the Rippaverse? I mean, I don't think I would like to just kind of go up to Zachary Levi and just give him a hug and just be like, bro, it's going to be okay. You'll be okay. You don't need to do this shit. You don't need to do this shit. You know, like you don't need to alienate your base of fans from Chuck, from Tangled, from Nerd HQ, from all these things you tried to do, you know, because you kind of got fucked over by shit outside of your control. And then COVID fucked a lot of people up and whatever. Isolation fucked a lot of people up. And I think that did fuck them up, you know. And I think the problem, though, is that when you have somebody, right, and if you look at the chat right now, I don't know if people have been deleting Donovan or not. I can see him on my end, but I'm just not choosing to engage with them. He can still click that fucking link. He's just not clicking that fucking link. Okay, no, he's been muted. No, there he is. Again, you click the fucking link or shut the fuck up. That's how it works. But hey, look at someone like Donovan. I'll just use him as an example. Donovan is isolated. He's alone in the world that he lives in. And so he's looking for meaning. He's looking for value of some kind. And so he's jumped on the anti-AI train. And if you just look at the shit he's saying, you know what I'm talking about. And it doesn't matter what you tell him. It doesn't matter anything else. That's his tribe. And he wants to feel important. So he's going to join up with whomever, whatever person says something that agrees with him, because he doesn't want to, like, you know, because he has to feel something. And that's a lot of what's going on with Zachary Levi as well, is that Zach got put, it's the same thing with Gina Carano, by the way. Okay, certain people got really mad at her for something she said. And it just, like, it was so kind of out there. And the, you know, did the punishment fit the crime sort of thing is the way I'm trying to talk about this. So she ended up just getting pissed and then reacting because she got pissed. And that's kind of what Zachary was doing as well. People were like giving him shit. So then what did he do? He got stubborn. He dug his heels in. He didn't want to move on. And so then that kept alienating him and alienating him and alienating him. And then, you know, he started kind of going like, well, fuck those people. Like, you know, what else is over here? Maybe these guys have got some good ideas, you know, because the left has an inability to just fucking hug somebody. Right? Like, I don't get it. I don't get why the fuck we're so asshole about that shit. You know, why we fucking couch faint and pearl clutch over every goddamn fucking thing when it's not even important. You know, you could just talk to Zachary Levi and be just like, all right, man, like, what do you think? Like, you know, my coworker was like that. We started talking more about it and he got real upset because I was challenging his worldview. You know, and you just got to like fucking sit there. All right, man, like, all right, let's chill out. Right? You can have the conversations. That's why, again, I'll bring up Donovan. Donovan can come on and have a conversation with me about AI right now. About right now, AI in Hollywood. And have a whole conversation about it. His points, his view, all that stuff. I want to hear it. But he won't. And he'll just snipe from the chat. And I'm just not going to engage with that. Okay? So if he wants to fucking have a conversation, we can have that conversation. I've made it abundantly clear that I'm open to having conversations. Anyone who knows me knows I like having conversations. But if you're not going to do it, I'm not going to listen because there's no point. So when it comes to Zachary Levi, it's kind of like that. Okay. Like people on, like, you know, on the left didn't want to have conversations with him. They just kept attacking him and lambasting him. So he ended up kind of going to the other side and then sees that they're doing well, that they have their base of people. And there's an opportunity and an opening for him to get in on that and find some validation in his own life. Because he probably feels that because of his support of Tulsi Gabbard and R.F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump, that he's been ousted from the circle in Hollywood. And the thing is, a lot of people in Hollywood are conservative, but they keep their fucking mouth shut because they know that it's not going to benefit them. He didn't do that. That's the biggest problem. So I don't know. That's what I think it's going to, I don't see the Rippaverse lasting forever. But I also, I think a lot of people just don't care as much anymore. I think they're backed by some big name people, but I don't know who. And I don't really care about them, but I wish him luck. Let's see. Do I think the Tron franchise is officially dead? Jared Leto box office. It's not just Jared Leto, man. It's just the thing I don't get. It doesn't matter who the fuck was in front of the only person in front of Tron Ares that would have probably been drawn a crowd is like Taylor Swift, right? Not fucking Tom Cruise, right? Maybe Tom Cruise, maybe Will Smith, maybe Chris Evans, maybe Chris Hemsworth, I don't know, somebody from Marvel, maybe. But this idea here, everyone's turning the problem on it being Jared Leto's problem. The marketing of the movie wasn't great. Like it had a lot to do with AI at a time when there's been this massive pushback in Hollywood I false pushback in Hollywood about AI for years, and so people were like, there wasn't a lot of love for it. There was, again, people that are going after Jared Leto for things he's been accused of. Not found guilty of, just accused of, and we have to kind of keep that in mind. But I don't even think Ryan Gosling would have scored more for this movie. The Fall Guy, I mean, that came out last year. Fun movie, really liked it. But it was a niche property. A lot of people didn't know that it was based on a previous TV show. And that movie opened this summer, and it was a big, big, big Universal film, and it kind of tanked. So it's like, no one can predict anything. All right. Like I was mostly trolling Donovan. I'll admit this. When I was like, oh, Superman's going to make like 450 million or whatever. It did a little over 600, which is good. Still didn't beat Man of Steel. And there's no way for it to make more money than Man of Steel at this point. Even home video wise, there's not going to make as much money as Man of Steel because the entire landscape has changed. So it's like, it doesn't even really matter. We don't go to movies for particular people anymore. All right. The movie star is dead. So no, if the movie star is dead, then Jared Leto is not box office poison. And I just think it's a very lazy bit of criticism for the movie. Right. I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan. Nothing about his casting in that movie has prevented me from wanting to see it. Nothing about his casting has also forced me to go in to see it early because I've been very busy. So no, it's lazy and it's just redundant to make those arguments because it's just people looking for answers about something that is almost unanswerable. Because every time a movie releases, it takes place at a particular point in time of our society. Some movies do very well. Some movies do not. If Sony would have put out K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters, would it have done as well as it did on Netflix? The answer to that is no. No, because it didn't have access to those like 70 million people right off the bat who just kept replaying it. All right. So if you would have put K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters first, it would have come and it would have gone and it would have done well on home video, but it wouldn't be what it is right now. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is there's no way to know what is going to be good or bad or whatever. We just have no way of knowing. All your tracking analytics, all your predictions, everything doesn't show you shit. You know what I mean? And so even again, looking at like the ratings for online, right? Like, it was a Peacemaker had like 421,000 people watched it on their TV. I watched it on my phone. How many of you guys watched it on your computer? Right? Or how many of you log into Netflix to watch on your computer? How many more people are watching on their computer? Right? Or they're watching on their console. Stuff that is not tied into the Nielsen ratings or the Samba stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no way for us to know anything. But what I do know is that you can't make the argument that it's just Jared Leto for Tron. Tron has always kind of been a niche. Here we go. The Smashing Machine bombed. What is next for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? I don't know. I do not know what's next for Dwayne Johnson. I hope that he does a fair amount of stuff that works well for him, and I think that's going to be in smaller films. Okay. So, I think that I think he's kind of looking again at everything in his career. I think, look, the key thing about The Rock is that The Rock wanted to be he wants to be a billionaire, and he's not going to be a billionaire. Not like this, right? Like, he wanted to be, like, he wants to have $1 billion franchises. He wants there to be those kind of things because that is what he's been after. And all of his franchises, outside of ones he's joined that were already previously established, have done mid. Right? Good for him, but mid. Never once coming close to $1 billion. You know? I mean, Jumanji was already a pre-established franchise. Granted, it was a reboot kind of and a continuation of it, but it was also Kevin Hart, who is way more popular in certain circles. Jack Black, who has a very big popular fan base. Karen Gillan is an ensemble piece. Fast and Furious is an ensemble piece. And I thought Hobbs and Shaw was going to crack $1 billion. Moana 2 hitting a billy, right? Is that because of him? No. Maui was a big part. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to deny the popularity of Maui. But no. Now, if the live action Moana that he is playing Maui on, if that does not hit $1 billion, that will tell you everything you need to know about The Rock. Now, I think it will, because live action Lilo and Stitch did it. Surprisingly, I mean, I thought the How to Train Your Dragon was going to do it. Did not. So The Rock just needs to, I think The Rock just needs to focus on character stuff, right? Like, wrestling's really big. More people, I think, more of his fans care about WrestleMania than they do about his movies, I think is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, where's Hobbs and Shaw 3? I don't even know, man. It's never going to fucking happen. Let's see here. The Rock is going to be in the upcoming Martin Scorsese film starring DiCaprio. Cool. Like, that's fine. I hope, again, like, working for prestige directors might be the next thing, right? If you can't go for the box office gold, go for the Oscar gold. The thing is, here's the thing. Dwayne Johnson can act, and Dwayne Johnson can act well. He can. The problem is that he got comfortable, and in that comfortability, he got lazy. And because he got lazy, he then started getting kind of entitled. And when he got entitled, it just more shit started kind of fucking up. And that's kind of where these things, tend to go. So I would think that in many instances, The Rock just needs to focus on that stuff. And, but like, look at what Dave Bautista is doing. Dave is like, I want to be an actor. And he's taking it seriously. John Cena, taking it seriously. Granted, doing that predominantly with James Gunn because he likes working with Gunn and they have a good dynamic, but still taking it seriously. So I think if Dwayne takes it seriously and stops trying to make it like all about him, that will be a lot better. I think that will be a lot better. And that's kind of what I'm waiting on. So he needs to lower his upfront cost. Well, that's all done through the production company, 7 Buck Productions, right? That's all done through that shit because they're the ones that find the money. And so he gets his producer fee, right? And then also his starring fee and everything else. And so it's like, that's a big part of it. But yeah, I think at this point they need to realize that he's just not worth that kind of cash anymore. Dwayne was Goon in Red One. He was good in Red One. Yeah, Red One was actually pretty good. I don't know about, they wanted to turn that one into a franchise. They went to Amazon to pitch it as a franchise. And it was a fine movie. I mean, it was directed by, a Kasdan. And then it was also written by Chris Morgan, who did a lot of the Fast and Furious films. And so it had a good director. It had a good cast. It had a screenwriter who understands, how to kind of write zany shit that people like. And I think the problem with it, though, is that, like, people are just not expecting these films to go to theaters anymore. I really do think that we, unfortunately, have to start to look at that as a niche art form. And that is just where things are going. And I don't like it. I don't like it. But even in my personal life, as much as I want to go and I love going, I'm just like, I'll just wait. I'll just wait. It's just so much easier for me to wait. I have so much other stuff I need to do. It's hard to get away for a couple hours. When I was single and I didn't have kids, oh, totally different story. I'd go all the fucking time. But the older you get, the more responsibilities you have. You go to the theater, you look at the cost. I wanted to go and see the fucking Battle Royale, right? But that was only playing in the theater that was like 45 miles away from me. I'm not going to drive 45 miles one way to go see Battle Royale. You know, I'll just buy the 4K from Amazon and we'll be here in a day and I'll be able to watch it. Was Black Adam coming and going like a fart in the wind what killed Dwayne's ego? 10 years in development for that. I mean, yeah, it is. So what happened with Dwayne on that one is not his fault. And I think that is one of the things that got him. So it's like, you know, Dwayne had spent years saying like the hierarchy of power in the DCU is about to change, right? All that shit. And so we're all kind of like, yeah, all right, you know, maybe he's going to do it, you know, Black Adam, you know, heroes don't kill people. Well, I do, you know, and all that shit. He's building it up, you know. I think one of the things that hurt him the most outside of the regime change at DC was I think it was his team that spread the rumor that Henry Cavill was going to be at Comic-Con. And I think it was his team that put it out there. And I think that rumor took on a life of its own that was greater than they could have possibly imagined. Because to a lot of people, Henry Cavill will be forever their Superman. And there are others that will look at David Corenswet and say the same thing. But you know what? Henry was Superman from 2013 to 2025. Or at least 2021. So a solid 8 years. 2022 if you count the fucking the cameo. And there and everything else. And he has a lot of fans. And people were legit upset he was not at San Diego Comic-Con. And then the movie comes out. And they have the cameo, which is awesome. But the cameo leaks online the night of the premiere. And I think that hurt it because that then removed the surprise. We all kind of figured it was there, but it kind of removed the surprise. So then the movie comes out, does $60 million in its opening weekend. Way better than Tron Ares. Way less money than Tron Ares too, I think. And then we find out, okay, they announced Henry Cavill's back. And everyone loses their shit. And then the next day, nope, everything changes. And that just fucking took the wind out of his sails. Because then, awkwardly enough, for the next 2 weeks, Black Adam was #1 at the box office for the next 2 weeks. 3 weeks in a row, it's been at #1. Sure, not much else was coming out at the time, but still, 3 weeks it's spent there. And holy shit. You had a movie that's got 3 weeks at the #1 spot in the box office. But everything is just shot to shit as a result of that, as a result of the regime change. I mean, I don't really give much of a fuck, like, about where we've been this year. David Zaslav, like, fucking vehemently fucked over DC and DC fans so hard that day. And it did put James Gunn in a bit of an impossible situation, again, with the narrative of control and all that jazz. And that's been a big part of it, right? Let's see here. Now, LOL, Black Adam got all that promotions, Fortnite skin, yeah, and it failed. Yep. Cavill, like The Rock, has fans that don't show up. I mean, Cavill hasn't headlined a movie in a while. But The Witcher did really, really, really well. Hey, sup, Sean, how you doing? Dwayne would never bulk up again if Black Adam is ever a thing in the future. No, I don't think Black Adam's coming back. I don't think Black Adam is coming back at all. That whole side of things is like dead. Let's see here. Fourth, what's up, man? Black Adam turned out exactly like I thought it would. The movie had no grit or cinema aspect to it. It just felt like his play it safe action family adventure trite, which made the movie generic. I mean, the scene with like the what was it? The scene when he's like taking out all the tanks and shit. I thought that was kind of cool. There, like, I mean, the director, I think the director made a competent movie for the first 2/3 of the film. But that climax, I mean, come on, dude, fucking, like the Pierce Brosnan was good. Okay. Aldous Hodge was good. Like they were good. There were good elements to that fucking movie. There were really good elements to that fucking movie. But the villain was bad. And that's always been like the biggest problem with these comic book films is that the villains, like, there are so many villains to pull from, but people really only know about a couple of them from the comics. And those villains, they lose and then they come back. Well, in these movies, they get killed. So then they can't come back. Except for, well, Spider-Man, in which case they've, were pulled from different dimensions. And that was a unique twist, but they can't do that again now, can they? So it's kind of tough. I do feel, though, that Black Adam, I think we would have already had a sequel if if Zaslav hadn't created DC Studios. Rationally for 5, thank you, says, did you hear David Ellison may do a hostile takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery? I mean, he has the money to do it. He has the fucking money to do it. I don't know what that's gonna mean. I don't know what that's gonna do. I don't know. Because the thing is that, like, as far as I understand it, Warner Brothers rejected the bid for $20 a share. But the thing is, though, I think Zaslav wants to drive the share price up. Okay. He wants to drive it up as much as he can. And then I think he wants to, like, use that to bargain for the separation of Discovery from that. Because Discovery is like his baby sort of thing. And I just have a feeling, and I could be wrong, okay, I could be wrong, but I just have a feeling that he wants to try to find a way to make as much money as humanly possible and then still walk away with his side of things, right? Have his cake, eat it too. But I don't know if there's a hostile takeover that happens, who fucking knows? I have no idea. I have none. I don't know at all, period. So yeah. Thank you for that, though. Jess here says, it's hard to go to the movies because by the time I get off of work, I just want to stay home. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, if movies were like 24 hours, like if they had like one in the middle of the night that I could go see, it'd be a little bit different, but they just don't. Bell here says the earliest I can go is 3:30. Yeah. See, I mean, I'm usually starting work around that time. So, oh, Donovan, come on, man. Listen, you want to talk about anyone being insane for hating? All you do is screenshot Sean O'Rourke for everything that he said, everything that he does. All you do is screenshot him. You do the same thing to me, right? Look at yesterday. Look at yesterday on Perp Stream. It was you and Brandon crying about me in the chat while we're talking about anything else other than that shit. You want to talk about insanity? Look in the mirror. Look in the fucking mirror, dude. You don't. This is why I say you're a narcissist. You lack any and all accountability. You avoid it like the plague. And that's how we know, point blank, how we know that you're a narcissist. Oh my God. So yeah. Let's see here. Fourth says, dare I say? Well, yeah, okay, real quick. Yeah, Sean, Zemo lived. That is true. And that was good. But that was also, Zemo living was part of T'Challa's arc. It wasn't, it was stopping the perpetuation of violence. That was part of his arc. So it made sense. And then, of course, we got more Zemo in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was great. Daniel Bruhl is awesome. Bring him back, please. So The Rock owns the rights to Justice League of... What? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the rights to... The Justice Gang is just like... Honestly, that whole rumor about Justice Gang and James Gunn having the same initials, I'm gonna say I think that was a bit of trolling there. Anyway. All right. Dare I say, Snyder needs a writer like the ones that worked on Black Adam. The movie has appropriate character twists and turns that are missing from Zack's non-adaptation films. Yeah, I think Zack Snyder needs to kind of stop working with who he's working with. Some of those guys, like I enjoyed Rebel Moon, but again, I only saw the unrated cuts. I didn't see the I didn't watch I didn't watch the theatrical shit. That was the dumbest thing ever. I think if they would have never done that, it would have had so much more positive discussion surrounding it. No, I feel like again, the idea there is it's not necessarily the same writers that like Black Adam had. It's just having a competent story being told in your script. And that really is the biggest problem is with these producers that want their say, and the actors that you come in with their ideas, and that's not always a bad thing, by the way. Okay. But like it's a collaborative process. There is no I in filmmaking, as they say. And so it's like, you gotta have a competent storyteller and a person willing to say, no, this doesn't work. It's like, look at Gareth Edwards for Jurassic World Rebirth, right? Like David Koepp is not my favorite screenwriter. And as soon as I saw he was attached, I was like, shit. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, Gareth Edwards though. I love me some Gareth Edwards. So we'll see what happens. And the movie was a tonal mishmash in many ways. I liked it. The scenes that worked for me were the scenes that were like the action stuff. Okay. But there's a lot of hackneyed nonsense in there that was just done because Gareth Edwards was a director for hire, as you and I have discussed. So it's just really, I think James Gunn's approach of making sure the story and script is done and good before going into production is the best thing. But it does get crazier the bigger you get, because at that point then, like those surprises, you got to keep them a secret, and that can be a problem. So anyway, let's see here. Sean says the board cut Zaslav's bonus from 53 million to 6 million. He's trying to drive it up for a better golden parachute. I don't know. I didn't read that, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Really, Donovan, you're saying here, thank God I'm not such a snobby, pompous douche. Do you know how many times on your own Twitter feed you have referred to yourself as like a supreme intelligence? Again, narcissist says what? Does Donovan want to fuck Jarbo or Sean? It's hard to decide. I don't know if it's a sexual thing. It might be a daddy thing. I don't know. I have a deep voice, big balls. It makes him feel something. I quit smoking, so I can't come back from getting cigarettes. I'm sorry. But again, Donovan has an open invitation. I'll even drop it again. There you go. Open ass invitation. But anyway, let's see here. Rational, thank you, buddy. Says, I hope Ellison doesn't mess with DC. No more reboots. Look, man, I don't know. At this point, these properties are interchangeable with their owners. I don't even know anymore. It's one of the things I look at, and I look at these IPs, and I think we're heading for an IP bubble crash. Not superhero fatigue, mind you, just in general, an IP bubble crash. Because all of these, Marvel has kind of plateaued, and that's going to happen when you're coming up on like 40 fucking films. And you've got your sequels and you've got your connected stories and blah, blah, blah. Never mind the TV show shit. Right. And it's like, people are willing to invest if they feel like there's some kind of scarcity to it, because then it feels like an event. Nothing Marvel puts out feels like an event anymore. Deadpool and Wolverine felt like an event. Why? Because Wolverine died back in 2017. So this was one of those things where it's like, okay, shit, this is an event. Was Fantastic Four an event? No, it was the fourth film. With the fifth film, can't discount the Corman movie. that was trying to tell the story, and it was a good movie. I really liked it, but it just kind of failed to connect, in many ways. Superman was a reboot. And again, what DC stuff always sells well on the number one reboot. But will it continue? I don't know. They gotta keep it going quick, man. They gotta have a Superman cameo in Supergirl. They gotta get that Batman off the ground. They gotta get that Wonder Woman off the ground. They gotta hit that ground running and shit. And they're kind of dragging their feet on that one. I don't even know, but it could be if Now, do I believe the fucking Cosmic Circus or Cosmic News or whatever talking about like, is Gunn going to be fired? I don't know if Gunn would be fired. What I could see happening is DC Studios being reabsorbed into Warner Brothers, where Safran and Gunn have to report to Abdi and DeLuca, who have proven to be effective producers over the course of this year. They've had a good run. And so Ellison might look at that and be like, okay, they clearly know how to make stuff work. We've had one movie with James Gunn, but it's too much James Gunn. Audiences might not like that. It's too much with his name in front of it. Let's pull it back and let's, have them still co-run it. But now we're going to have them work with Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca as well as David Ellison in order to make sure that it's competent going forward, which at that point you're talking about way too many cooks in the kitchen. It's like even Kevin Feige has to answer to like Bob Iger. And Bob Iger has a say in a lot of the shit. So that's one thing you have to remember about all of this is that like these higher ups, man, they want to say in this stuff because they need to then justify their position as CEO of these companies or as heads of these divisions, so they got to get involved. And this is where we really, really, really has a problem. Sean here says, I never think about Donovan until he pops up on a stream. I'm going to disagree on that one there, buddy, but it's fine. So, hey, Bell, thank you for the 5. What are my honest thoughts about Superman actually losing money at the box office? Well, here's the thing with that. Okay. And I appreciate it, Bell, but I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna like anger some people. We don't know if it did or didn't. We don't know. The Forbes article that came out the other day laid out an idea of a thought that could potentially mean that it lost, like 42 million. But then the article also says we don't have any idea about how much money it made or didn't make. You know what I mean? And like, look at we had a thing the other day that said that The Rise of Skywalker apparently all in all cost Disney $600 million. But is that including tax cuts? Tax breaks for where they filmed it? Is it where they did the visual effects? Like, is it, what are the incentives that they were given? All those breakdowns. Okay. But then we also have to remember Hollywood accounting doesn't like to actually showcase profit, because then the people who get the points on the back end, they don't get as much money if it's shown as being a negative. You know what I mean? So if Warner Brothers is out there trying to make the argument that Superman did not make money, I mean, the movie cost approximately $225 million. So $675 million would largely be the middling range for profit. James Gunn has refuted that, but then again, we also know that he has stretched the truth on a number of things. He could sit there and say that the movie did not need to make that amount of money, which would be true if you account for the tax incentives for where they filmed the movie. And never mind also doing the tax incentives for doing the visual production work in different countries. If you look at the end credits of the movie, you should be able to see like special thanks to like Australia or Canada. And you're like, but they filmed it in Ohio. It's like, yeah, because they exported shit to other countries to get some of those tax credits. Because this is a business, right? Like they got to figure out the best way to navigate all that. So you figure, okay, $620 some million. Some people have said, I think Variety made the report that it made $125 million in profit. Again, I mean, if you're taking out like if you're writing off as much as you can write off, or you're looking at the licensing deals with the toys and like crypto and like fucking the dog treats and everything else. I mean, dude, when I was in Hawaii, when I was in Honolulu, we went to Target and they had the 12-inch crypto official Squishmallow for like $12. I didn't buy it, but I thought about it. If I was in Hilo, like my last stop, I probably would have bought it. I went looking when I was in Hilo. I didn't find it. But anyway, my whole point, though, is they had all the licensing deals, and those licensing deals brought a lot of money in for the movie. And that is going to work against the, or work for, I guess, to some extent, its profitability margins. They did the same thing with Man of Steel in 2013. Because of licensing and tie-ins, Man of Steel had already given Warner Brothers $150 million in profit before the movie even came the fuck out. So all of those toy sales, all of the merchandising, the Funko Pops, the posters, the fucking whatever the fuck, all of that is going to factor in to how much money Superman or any movie is going to make on the profitability margin. But your question is the box office. See, and that becomes an entirely different conversation. Because we talk about the box office and how much money it made at the box office versus how much money it needed to make based upon what we know in the current multiplier for everything. Yes, it lost money at the box office. At the box office. Okay. But I view those arguments very similarly to how I view the argument of adjusting for inflation. I think it's bullshit. I think at the end of the day, whether or not the movie makes money through all of its various avenues of ancillary income, that should be the argument. Because at the same time, a movie's box office performance should not in any way, shape, or form affect your enjoyment or lack of enjoyment of the movie. Right? Like, when you go in to watch a film, you're like, oh God, I fucking hope this movie makes a lot of money at the fucking box office. Oh, it's the only way I can come. No, you don't. You don't. You don't fucking, double click your mouse, right? To box office numbers. You just don't do it. It just doesn't, it's not sexy. It's accounting. It's fucking lame. Okay. But the argument over what movie made more money, could you make the argument that Man of Steel made more money on a profitability margin than Superman? The answer to that is probably yes. If I recall correctly, the budget of Man of Steel was $150 million. And that did 660 something. So if its break-even point was, let's say 450, 500 million, maybe let's say 455, 550, if you account in for on average $100 million marketing spend, right? Then yes, that movie would have brought in more money than that multiplier, which means it would have made money. But again, we don't know the specifics. We don't know the accounting. We don't know all of that stuff. So it ends up being a bigger issue. And even then, Superman or Man of Steel on home video made like $80 million just domestically. We don't even have the numbers for international shit. We have no idea how much money that movie has made. We have no idea how much money that film has pulled in streaming, in licensing, in merchandising. We don't fucking know. And because they keep you in the dark about all that shit, because it's a business, right? And these are like trade secrets. We are left with the only thing we can argue, which is box office. And that, based upon everything I have said here, should beyond a shadow of a doubt prove that box office arguing is just fucking armchair quarterbacking. It is useless. It is pointless. It is self-aggrandizing. It is self-filleting. It is bullshit. And anyone out there that makes arguments about box office in regards to movies' profitabilities, most likely, Dan Murrell, need to be run the fuck off of YouTube, Dan Murrell. Okay, because it's not a valid form of argument. Because we simply do not have the data to come to a conclusion. I make the same arguments in regards to like Nielsen and Samba and all of that stuff. It is a collection. It is a snapshot. But here's something funny, just because I want to kind of tie this whole thing together. Why adjusted for inflation is bullshit as a quick factor. So everyone always says, right, if you go back to adjust for inflation and you go, oh, the movie that's going to make the most amount of money is like Gone with the Wind, right? Truth of the matter is, no, it wouldn't, because Gone with the Wind was re-released like so many times, like well over 7 times from when it came out in the late 1930s to at least the 1980s. And so the amount of money that it's made over time has done very well. But if we look at that total box office and then adjust it for 2025, that is not factually accurate under any circumstance. Because the ticket price in 1939 was like 35 cents or something. So the movie made a lot of fucking money back in like 1939. It did. There's no denying that it made a lot of money for the time. But you just can't compound all that together. If you look at Superman 1978, adjusted for inflation, that one is I think around 300 million for today's times, right? Kind of like what Superman Returns made, you know? Oh no, sorry. I think it made 300 million back then. I think it would be over $1 billion. I think is my mistake on that one. But again, right? You know, think about that. But the key factor here is, let me just give you the other example. If you go and you look at Avatar, right? Avatar, highest grossing film of all time. People make the argument, if you adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind makes more money. Again, as I just pointed out, there's no way to actually adjust for inflation without going back to all of those individual re-releases of the film, looking at total amount of box office from those re-releases, applying that adjusted to inflation to this date. It's just too much work. But for Avatar, we can go back to 2009, 2010, and we can pull from that and then adjust for that for 2010 money. And Avatar still would be the number one. It's crazy as fuck. Anyway, sorry, that was a long tangent on that shit. Does Donovan have a lisp? If so, I don't know if he has a lisp or not. That's a very good question. Donovan, do you have a lisp? Do you have a lisp? Lisp. Okay. Superman merch is now on clearance, 70% off. Yeah, but Sean, dude, the movie came out like 3 months ago. You know? Like, yeah, all that shit ends up. Am I Overlord DVD? God, no. God, no. If I was Doomcock, I'd start a shotgun. Holy fuck. No, I'm not a blathering racist. I'm just a big old idiot. There's a difference. Shut up, Parallax. I will unmod you. Superman Returns was better than Superman 2025. I am actually going to agree with you on that one. I think I rewatched Superman Returns a while back. That movie is not bad. That movie got a lot of shit when it came out. It's not bad. Brandon Routh did a good job. Kevin Spacey was a good Lex Luthor. Solid stuff. Anyway. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, right. I recently rewatched it. It actually isn't that bad. See, that's what I'm talking about. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Is like movies may stay this. Our perception of films change over time. Our life experiences change over time. Our perceptions of things, our ideas about things, and where we are mentally. It's like, I'm sorry, it's fucking like, I remember, okay, so I saw, what was it? I don't know what it was. I saw, this is kind of a weird one. Godzilla 2014. Okay. I saw it. We previewed it at the drive-in and I thought it was okay. Right. I was like, oh, it's all right. But my girlfriend wanted to go see it a couple days later. So we went to go see it over the weekend. And for some reason, it clicked with me when I was watching it in the theater. I got goosebumps at the end of that fucking movie when they're going to fight. And I fucking love Godzilla 2014. And King of the Monsters is pure sex. Pure sex. Holy fucking shit. You need to smoke after that movie because you've nutted so many times. My point, though, is that, like, not everything is going to land the first time you watch it. Okay? Like, I saw Superman over the summer. I liked it. I watched it again. I still liked it. I think I was actually kind of ticked off that we didn't get more Clark Kent, because I think the duality between Clark and Superman is interesting. I prefer the Clark side of it because I feel there's more vulnerability there. In this one, it was just kind of like, you know, there were some things I liked, some things I didn't. But again, at the end of the day, I'm like, bring me more of what this world is offering up. Do I think Peacemaker is an overall better property than Superman? Yeah, I think Gunn is more comfortable in that setting. Do I think Gunn should continue in that setting? Yes, I do. He should hand the reins of Superman over to somebody else to direct. And then he should go and do those very grounded, down-to-earth character stories that work well for Peacemaker and Guardians and the fucking underdog guys. Superman isn't an underdog. And that was probably my biggest complaint with the movie, is like they're trying to paint him as an underdog, but he's not. And that was that whole thing with him, like, I get scared, I feel, yeah, all right, but just, okay, that's your jerk off moment, right? With your fucking J.J. Abrams lens flare shit, but that should have been like a Clark thing. Not, like, it just didn't make it. It just, I get the reason it just didn't land for me in the way that it landed for other people. Okay. But it's not bad. Brandon, I'm not going to leave Donovan alone because he doesn't go away. You also need to go the fuck away. Sean here says, I still haven't seen Avatar 2. You're missing the fuck out, dog. I was rewatching it with my kids the other day. My daughters love it. My eldest daughter really likes it. I'm gonna take her to go see Fire and Ash. After I've gone and seen it. Predominantly, I'm not taking her the first time just because I'm like, I want to enjoy it. So, Blank Man is better than Superman 2025. Hey, man. Okay. Who doesn't love some Damon Wayans? Well, Sean, Peacemaker, you cannot look at that. And it wasn't 600,000 people. It was like 421,000 or some shit from Samba. You cannot look at those numbers as being a realistic catalog of what the actual viewing numbers were. That is just over the course of those couple of days. That is just through one metric of people who have it on their Samsung TVs. No accounting for phones, computers, gaming consoles, piracy, for example. They could look at torrent numbers for it and see an idea there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the studio has a greater metric of it than we'll ever know. And you know that. There's no way that they're not going to like they clearly waited until the day of, right before the show aired, to go, this is the finale. Okay, they clearly did that shit. And I didn't care for that, but they clearly did that shit. And, and then I think that might have also left a bit of a poor taste, because at this point people are watching it going like, oh wait, this is it? So there was some bad marketing there. There's bad vibing there. But I still think that Peacemaker has done quite well. And I think Peacemaker will continue to do quite well as more people fucking find it. Now, if only they would release it on 4K, I could buy it. But but you know how that shit works though, man. You guys are just, God, we're coming into a new fucking, we're coming into a new Avatar movie. I'm gonna have to deal with you fucks all the time. Like, I get scared, whatever, man. Let's see here. Nah, I rather have seen a ridiculously overpowered Superman. I probably would have liked it to go watch. I get it. Look, man, I love Man of Steel. I love BVS. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I also enjoyed Gunn's take on it. I did. I didn't like the marketing. I still didn't like the marketing. But I like it. Yeah, this all I'm saying is like, this is the problem with arguing over these headlines or arguing over these stats. Because it's just like, there's so many things that ebb and flow. At the end of the fucking day, really, truly, madly, deeply, at the end of the fucking day, it all boils down to one thing. Did you enjoy it? And if not, that's fine. Okay? If you watch something and you don't like it and you don't want to continue with it, that's cool. You made an attempt. But I think we watch things to enjoy them. You know what I mean? Like we watch movies and shows to make us feel good. And so I don't understand this whole fucking thing of like, I mean, me trolling Superman was mostly going after Donovan. I will fully admit that. I think I have admitted that before. Cause like, it's so funny to get him so mad. And still even now, I might have created a monster with that one. Unfortunately, my bad. You know, cause like, he's like, I hate you, but I can't stop listening to everything you say. So he's a fan. He's probably my biggest fan is Donovan. Martin is probably my biggest fan. You know, so maybe I should do a meet and greet down there in OC. Be like, I'm doing a meet and greet at the Applebee's. Come on down. First fucking person there be Donovan. And then I'll probably end up getting killed. Not saying by who. Could be by anyone. But that's how I'm probably going to go out. Like Batman's parents in that fucking alleyway. When am I going to watch Ahsoka? Leading up to Ahsoka season 2. How about that? The guaranteed. Yeah, but you pissed the rest of us off. How? What did I do? Sean here says F1 and Sinners made me feel good. That's good, man. That's good. I haven't seen F1. They played it on the cruise ship, but I didn't get a chance. I saw like a couple minutes of it. Looked pretty cool. Oh, I need to sit down and watch it. You know, but and Sinners again, like I don't hate it. I just think the ending could have been fucking, you know, whatever. Frodo Cop here says I could have cut out an hour of the second Avatar film and it would have made it bank. It's so fucking long. I don't disagree with you, but like it's one of those things where remember the show Mad Men? Like nothing happened in Mad Men, but you're like a fly on the wall of their life. Kind of feel like that with this, you know. I just I like it. I do like it. I do. I enjoy the shit out of it. Oh, your target was dumbass, not us, you dumb. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was, but you know, collateral damage. You know, you want collateral damage? I'll give you fucking collateral damage. I don't know, Matt. A lot of those faceless people are literal trolls IRL. I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. I'm probably not going to be taken out by a sniper or, you know, Mossad. But no, I mean, like, look, man, it's kind of like I would rather do more to like, you know, talk about things I like and enjoy the things I like. And you know, that's why like, you know, the patio commentary stuff is really important to me. It's just hard to like navigate. And that's, I spent a lot of time thinking about it on the cruise and I'm just like, it's so difficult to talk about movie news, you know, like it just is. Because it all feels like a fucking fight. Everything on this platform feels like a fucking fight, like nonstop, you know? And like, it's just like, it's hard because like, you know, you want to give your opinion and even even the physical media side of it gets fucking crazy from time to time. Holy shit. There's a lot of jealousy and hatred in the physical media community here on YouTube. Like one lady, oh my God, she fucking racked up like 23,000 in credit card debt buying movies. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit. But there's the other side of it though, is that there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of love and we don't always have to like everything. I mean, look, you guys can not like Avatar. I mean, we all can be wrong about something, you know, but I think it's just like, there's good shit out there. I think that's why Tubi is so good. I think Tubi is so good because it's there, you know, and it's got good and it's got bad, but it's got stuff that everyone can kind of get on in and enjoy. Music Man says here, how I love movies, but not to be in debt. So she wanted to do, it's what's the terminology is called Keeping Up with the Joneses. And she was buying all these new movies that came on out and just racking up credit card debt, trying to build her YouTube channel and everything else. Like I buy movies now mostly on sale or if I can pay over time. And that's what I did today. I said I'm a whore for this shit, but you know, I get what I get. Sean, oh yeah, I agree with you about some films on Tubi. The problem, I mean, but that kind of works to its, I mean, because they only broadcast, I think, in 720p. Like they don't even fucking, they don't even have like 1080 over there, I don't think. But they are going to be broadcasting the Super Bowl in 4K, so that should be interesting. Fourth here says, Jarbo, you have to do Black Tubi parties. Dude, there's so much of that on there. And it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty based in many ways, that they've been able to do that. But I was actually like, There's some I saw something the other day about a filmmaker saying that like they wouldn't make any money on Netflix, but they make a lot of money on Tubi. You know. Yeah, executive. Yeah, Tubi's airing the Super Bowl. They also did it earlier this year too. Jessica says, I pre-ordered Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Nice. I haven't seen it. I wanted to really, really, really bad. But I didn't. I heard it was like so radically different from the movie. I just didn't want to do it. Black Tubi is 100% a psyop. Nah. Let's see here. You did. Okay, I'll take a look at those. Black Tubi watch parties. Black Tubi parties sound weird, like a Mandingo thing. I don't know, man. What about Diddy? What about not Mandingo? Jesus, fuck, man. I just realized what you said. What about a baby oil party? Sean says, I have a friend who has made 30 black films that stream on Tubi, and he makes on average 20,000 per film in ad shares. Yeah, man. I mean, it takes, you got to have, if something blows up on Tubi, you can make some good money. But and the thing is, when I was living in LA, I knew people that worked for a guy, these like fucking white bread ass filmmakers that were always working on these black films. This guy had created this monthly subscription service where every month he would put out a new movie. It was, black made, black written, black directed, black acted, right? All this stuff very, very much in line with like what Tyler Perry was doing, which is that's like a really good model. And, they would shoot him around LA, and they were like, they weren't like the best made movies, you know what I mean? But they had, I think it was around like 2,000 people paying like $20 a month or some shit like that, to get a movie sent to them every single month. Or maybe it was more. Maybe it was like I forget exactly what I was told. But like, if you scale that model, especially if you're in a niche community like the black community, that's gonna have stuff tailored directly to them. They could buy it. I mean, that's one thing Tyler Perry did. But also he made stuff that like had a lot of like family and religious themes to it, and that carried over into white culture. And that was a big factor, like, that it blew up. There's this one rom-com channel on my Samsung TV that plays a lot of Tyler Perry. And my daughter had like left my TV on it, and I was watching it before playing a game. And they had a bunch of Tyler Perry shit. And I'm like, this is some of the like it's so like, I don't know, man. I think it's like these are mostly like stage plays, right? I think they're written to be stage plays, but they shoot them like a movie. They like, it was so uninspired. Everything was uninspired. Like the cinematography, the lighting, the set design, the production design, it was all uninspired. And I'm like, maybe it doesn't matter. And at the same time, I'm not the target audience, but it just looked bad. You heard black movies and materialize. Yeah. Okay, here we go. He makes his films for 10 to 20K a pop. But then over time, his budgets have increased, and he's making films with bigger markets and budgets around 250 indies. Yeah, man, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it, is you got to scale it up, man. Like, you get to that point where that money comes on in and you can make it work. And all that. I mean, and good for him too, man. Like, good for him. It's good that people are able to make it. The creator of Scott Pilgrim was going through a divorce, so that story was an allegory to a situation. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I will be Tubi Perry. Hold on. Wait, hold on. You admitted to loving T-Baby stuff in the past, and then you made Polar the Polar Bear jar. What do you mean T-Baby? So you need 14 million streams on Tubi to make 250 in ad shares. Jesus Christ. I mean, like, horror would probably be up there, because there's a lot of horror people. They get 65 million. No, they're up to 90 million monthly active people now. So like, there's so many people on fucking Tubi, dude. You could probably do it with like a good fucking movie. I should get back into making a shitty ass fucking found footage film. Just shoot it myself. Just one man's lone descent into the madness that is artificial intelligence. And then put it out there. Like, fucking dude, Lake Mungo was on there. My God. Don't badmouth Boss Baby. Let's see here. I was a production supervisor on BET Plus film called Deadly Intentions, and the budget was $997,000. Yeah, do a found footage hood movie. I live in Washington. There's no hood here. Well, I mean, there is, but not what you think. There's Hood Mountain, or there's Mount Hood. Oh, and oh my God, and it's pointy and it's white. Oregon was created as a white ethno state, I guess. It's the sequel to Get Out. Does Farce of the Penguins count? Farce of the Penguins was made by Bob Saget. Okay, there's no slander for that movie here. What Tyler Perry movie do I recommend? None of them, because I've never watched one all the way through. Nightmo, yeah. I hope you beat yourself. Droga says, I've seen the episode of Boondocks where they are clearly parodying Tyler Perry. I'm pretty sure I have. I need to do a rewatch of all that shit. There's some hood in Tacoma. Yeah, South Tacoma. South Tacoma. Okay, I don't go to South. You know where I went the other day? I went up to Ruston Point. I had to drop some people off at Ruston Point. God, that drive is nice. And then I went to Stellicum. That was real nice. My work sends me to the nicest places. Found footage movie in the hood is a good concept. You know what movie in the hood is good? Judgment Night. How about that shit? If you need protection, call Mo. He can drive you around in his hood. Yeah, Whittier. Whatever the fuck it is. The only Tyler Perry movie I've seen is TMNT Out of the Shadows. Also, he popped up in Star Trek from 2009. That was pretty funny. What would a found footage movie in the hood even be like? What would that even be? I mean, like, I'll tell you what, I would write a movie. No, fuck that. I would petition, because if I did it, I'd get canceled in a heartbeat. But no, Keenan Ivory Wayans, man. Because let's all agree that Don't Be a Menace is one of the funniest fucking movies ever. Oh, really? Yeah, Sean, I love Judgment Night too. I was actually at Half Price Books a little while back, and I'm looking through their DVDs and the Blu-rays, and they had Judgment Night, and I just grabbed it and I bought it, and I took it home and I was gonna watch it, and it's the fucking. I didn't look closely. It was the German version. So I paid $5 for the German version. I can't even watch it. So I'm like, all right. But I love Judgment Night, man. Fucking that was a stacked cast of people. You've already canceled yourself. If you don't make a hood movie, you might as well. Oh shit. Paranormal Activities, the marked ones, was in the hood. Yeah, I guess so. Tweaker smoking on the street and prostitution, most likely. I haven't seen any prostitution in South Tacoma. However, if you travel north up to Shoreline and Aurora on the 99, oh, Bell, you will see some sights. You should. Next time if you're ever going northbound, just fucking cut over to the 99, past downtown, and just take it all the way up to Everett. When you get to Shoreline, you will see a lot of shit. It's really funny. I drive by them all the time for work. It's hilarious. Jarbo and Compton. You know, I've been to Compton before, right? I mean, it was brief and I got out quick, but because I had to go to Watts instead. I had to go to Watts. That's how bad it was. Leprechaun in the Hood, instant classic. Who doesn't love fucking Leprechaun movies, man? Let's see. Marked Ones was the best. When the gangbangers are blowing away the witches, I was fist pumping. Nice. Let's see here. I only say that because literally what I saw today during my run, and you live on the east side of Tacoma. I mean, dude, I go to Tacoma a lot, but I'm taking home usually like elderly white people and shit. So like, you know, but I go to Parkland. A lot. I had to go to Puyallup on. When am I going tomorrow? Tomorrow, thankfully, I'm just in and around Seattle all day, which is nice, because then it's like I don't gotta fucking do the long drives up and back. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I like my job a lot. It's a cool gig. Let's see here. Droga says, I did apply for BET, but I ended up getting a job at ICUP. Okay. I get the joke. You know what's crazy about Parkland? That's the only place you can find a strip club between here and between Vancouver and Seattle. That's the only strip club you can find is right there off of the 512. You know the one I'm talking about, right? Anyway, stop jogging on the Blade Bell. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'll talk all this shit. Okay, it's 11:30. Been on for 2 hours. Anything going on? I try to keep around 2 hours and whatnot so I can get some other stuff done. You know what I'm talking about. Fucking. Okay. Let's see here. All right. How long are these videos Rational sent me? What is this here? Omni scaling brand visuals with 3D digital. I don't want to watch any of that stuff, man. I'll check it out. I'll check it out on my own just because it's it's going to kind of drag the show down to talk about NVIDIA and fucking digital twinning. That one I might. Gangbangers versus witches, and then I'll probably end it. Oh no. Let's see here. It's it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Charlie Moist Critical is I'm turning off channel memberships, and then he's I've already made $35 million from ad revenue on YouTube. So yeah, that makes sense. I get that. Honestly, if I could get to a point where I was making that kind of money, I would definitely probably just reinvest into fucking movies and making movies and shit. Wait, is it only a fucking 17-second clip? Or is it the whole ending? Because I just got here the marked one Ghetto Boys. No, hold on. Cholos versus Witches. Okay, it's an edit. Is it in the store? Paranoia 5 edit. Let's see here. I don't really know what I'm looking for. Because it's showing me that let's see. Hold on, I'm kind of scrolling through. I need to watch all those. I can't. Fucking people are so mean. I'm looking at it like a hood rat activity. Jesus Christ. Okay, I think this one might be it. We're not going to do the whole thing because I'm going to get fucking canceled if I do.
That's food or something. You cooking shit? There's squatters in there. Oh. See anything?
No, Sean, I don't want to remake my movie. I want to make the original version of it that I wanted to do, which is not very close to what I wanted to do. Or what I did do.
Watch out! Get the fuck out of here! Go! Go! Get out of here! Run! Go! 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 Go!
Jeez. Are those the witches from the end of the third film?
Come on! Come on! Get everywhere! What? Just stay there, alright?
Oh shit, we entered into Blair Witch territory. Just tapping on the glass. The fuck? I actually haven't seen this one. Wait, is this the one where they go back in time?
Arturo?
Okay, we did have this at the drive-in. I just never watched it. Wait, is that the guy with the shotgun?
Marcel! Where are you? Marcel! Marcel! Fuck are you?
I like the added rumble. Holy shit.
Oh God!
Yeah, that's gonna work, bro. It's because Donovan is racist, Sean. His mother is MAGA, don't you know that? He supports ICE coming to California and departing hardworking Hispanic people. We're watching a movie clip about Hispanic people being tortured by witches, and Donovan is currently ejaculating ropes like Spider-Man flips through the city. It's the only possible solution, Parallax. Oh shit. What's gonna fucking this I might get the whole stream taken down for this one. It'll probably happen though. It's fine. John, don't worry about Donovan, no one else does. He's like the new Brandon. But he can type complete sentences.
Hector, please open the door.
Go away! Get the fuck out of here!
Hector, I'm scared, man. Please open the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you! I'm not opening this door.
Oh shit, I haven't seen that house in a long time. Ah, the staircase. Ah. The chandelier. Holy shit. Because I know Oren Pelly owned the house because he shot it in his house in San Diego in back in 2007, I think. And then he's living in New Zealand now. We're Facebook friends. I'm just going to fucking flex on that one for a second. But the staircase. Fucking Katie. Where's Mika? Or Micah. Whatever. Mika. No, Mika.
Excuse me.
Oh God, look at all the DVDs. This is before Blu-ray. Wow, that's a good attention to detail. Oh shit, son, you're gonna get shanked. She's coming at you.
Excuse me, lady. Please. I don't know where I am. Please. Excuse me. I need your help, please.
Oh, that's actually the best canonical ending because Mika sucked. Oh, that was a good scare. That was a solid scare. Who was that guy, though? Ooh. Well, I guess I'm watch some idiot LARPing as a comic guy from The Simpsons now. I don't know. Who's that? Oh, I okay. Let's see here. Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. It should come back anytime. Uh, let's see. Okay. There it is. There it is. Okay. Yeah, usually what happens. Oh, oops. There. Okay. What happens with it is when you get this is why I have trouble with trailer nights. Because like by the end of trailer nights, we'll end up getting some serious fucking copyright claims. Yeah, what happens is they detect it and then they basically kind of mute you for like 2 minutes and then or whatever, and then it comes back on. But yeah, that's pretty fucking funny. What part did it die off at? Because like that was fucking cool ending, man. This is why, my friends, this is why I really, really, really want to get the ability to have the StreamYard private webinar stuff again. Because then I can just say, hey, here's a link, let's watch stuff, and we won't have to worry about that. It doesn't get archived. It doesn't get saved anywhere. We're just streaming, and that will be that. So yeah, and I don't want to do it for like everything. I just want to do it for like watching fucking, like Tubi and shit. So, but that's kind of a problem. Anyway, that's yeah, there we go. That's what we end up dealing with here, folks. When you're trying to do anything on YouTube, it sucks. Towards the end, okay, cool. Well, yeah, you saw the Cholos versus Witches, which is what people are asking for. Anyway. Yeah, I was able to finish watching the movie. I saw the ending of it. It was working for me. So he traveled back to the house. That was pretty cool. But on that note, I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to go and I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to go get a snack because I want a snack. I think like a bag of chips sound good. I have to go to the store though. God damn it. But what should I watch? What's on Tubi? Let's take a look here. You know what? We're going to take a look. I'll bring it up. Let's share the screen. Fucking Tubi. Motherfucking Tubi. Or not to be. What is here? Ooh. Fucking Shutter Island is here. Fucking Wrath of Man is here. Flight. Side Effects. Never saw that one. Independence Day Resurgence. I did see that one. Annihilation. Never seen it, but this is also one that I probably would want to watch with like uninterrupted because the quality. But they got The Mummy. Olympus Has Fallen. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Meatballs. Okay, I'm still signed in. Halloween. I have it on 4K. I'd be fine. Oh, hey, do I want to watch Scarlett Johansson fully nude? Maybe. Big Trouble in Little China, a film that needs a 4K. Night and Day, a great film that doesn't get anywhere near as much love as it should. Watchmen, I have the Ultimate Edition, which I probably won't watch. We got Idiocracy, Holmes and Watson. Never saw that one. How was the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Was that pretty good? From Dusk Till Dawn is always pretty solid to watch. I could watch The Rock and Skyscraper. Yeah, there we go. Never saw that Die Hard ripoff. The fucking American Sniper, the one biopic. Well, one of the biopics is terrible. Oh, hey, what do you know? They got Scream 4. I still know you did last summer. Jennifer's Body. I haven't watched that one in a while. Oh, here's one. Look here. I'll just point this one out. I'm not going to play it. This is a Call of Cthulhu, right? This is a silent movie that came out in like 2007, I think. 2005. And it was all done by the like HP Lovecraft Society or something. And it's all silent film, but they do a really like a lot of like they shot it digital and kind of you can see its age now, but they used like a lot of interesting sets and they go like on the ocean and it's just really, really, really good. I really recommend it, to be honest with you guys. It's on here. I actually had to fucking acquire this a certain way back in the day when it came out because that was the only way I was able to watch it, and it was really good. Let's check out horror. It's Halloween. Okay, Scary Movie 2, really funny. I never saw Cabin Fever. Am I missing out by not watching Cabin Fever 2? Ninth Gate. Okay, there's Terrifier. Yeah, Terrifier. 30 Days a Night would be fun to watch. Haven't seen that forever. Hansel and Gretel would be fun to watch. That was a fun one. The Frighteners is always a great film to watch. Is this even on 4K yet? I don't think it is. Needs to be. Interview the Vampire is also great. How was Don't Breathe? Was Don't Breathe good? Because they did a sequel to that, didn't they? Wait, is this the original Poltergeist or did they remake Poltergeist? I tried rewatching Grave Encounters a while back, and I don't know, man. It's kind of slow. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and they got fucking, was it Edie McClurg on the fucking cover? Oh, man. Good old Edie. Sinister. Tell me Sinister is good. I've never seen it. Let's see. Texas Chainsaw. This is the one from 2003, right? I just watched this. Love this poster art here for American Werewolf in London. That's fantastic. The Evil Dead is always a classic. VHS 1994. I know Parallax, what you're going to say. The Ring, I'm good. From Hell was solid. Is that Ringu? House on Haunted Hill, that's a classic. Well, classic. Okay, Dreamcatcher. I will defend the fuck out of Dreamcatcher. I will defend the fuck out of Dreamcatcher. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Dreamcatcher was solid as fuck. Even the ending. The ending makes more sense than the book. Okay. Coraline is a classic. I love Coraline. My children hate it. Pulse is a cool cover. Succubus, who doesn't love some titties? In the Mouth of Madness is about ready to get a 4K release that I might pick up, so I'm going to hold off on that one. How was Child's Play? Was that one any good? Green Room. Oh, what's Green Room? That's that Anton Yelchin, right? Anton Yelchin's in that one. I've heard good things. Patrick Stewart's in that one too, right? Watch VHS 2 instead. Who hates Dreamcatcher? A lot of people hate Dreamcatcher. Don't Breathe is Fede Alvarez's best movie. Yeah, that was Fede Alvarez, right? He did that one because it was I'm thinking of Lights Out was the other one. The Collector. Oh fuck, that's a good movie. It's punkers versus Nazis. Okay. No. Executive. This Child's Play is not the original 1980s Child's Play from Don Mancini. This is the reboot of Child's Play with Mark Hamill as the voice of Chucky. It was made for like $9 million. This is not, no. This is not that movie. I have seen the Child's Play films. I love the Child's Play films. This is the one. This is not that one. This is the reboot from 2019. This is the, so I just to kind of like save myself some cred here. Insidious, The Last Key. I've never seen any of the Insidious movies. I didn't care for Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but I need to watch it again. I hear From Beyond is good. The Craft was solid because who doesn't like, the cast of that movie is like hot as fuck. Yeah, I'll even say it. Fairuza Balk, man. I let her sit on my face. Anyway, Takeout looked interesting. I saw the trailer for it. Meet the Blacks. Okay. I just, I don't know. I like Mike Epps. I like Mike Epps. Give me some Day. Okay. Bring back Day for the Last Friday movie. Vampire in Brooklyn. Fucking Wes Craven and Eddie Murphy. This movie is fun. I don't give a shit. The other, that looks interesting. Ooh, fucking Hollow Man, dog. Hollow Man was solid. The last English movie that Paul Verhoeven made, I believe, right? The Following was a cool show. The Following, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure many of you do. The Following was created by the guy who created, Kevin Williamson, who created Scream. In fact, The Following is essentially Scream 3. The original idea that Kevin Williamson had for Scream 3 is what turned into The Following, which is why I think that Scream 7 will effectively be that particular story. What the fuck? Well, hold on. What do you mean Tubi is mid, Anthony? What are you talking? Droga Hood Classic. Let's see. Oh, my apologies. The remake is not bad, but it doesn't Child's Play name. Yeah, I know. No. Trust me, dude. I've seen Child's Play movies. Strangers Pray at Night was fun, better than the previous and all the other ones that followed. Wasn't the Pray at Night the sequel? Yo, Arachnophobia. Oh, you're trolling. You fuck, Anthony. God damn you. My coworker calls Tubi trash. It has the best kind of trash. Right. But look, Arachnophobia. I do have this one. I love Arachnophobia. I want to show my kids, but they're so scary. How is Megan is Missing? Because like I keep seeing this pop up in lists about like disturbing films, and I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. The 2000 reboot of or 2011 reboot of Fright Night. Never saw that one. I've heard Sting this was a Shudder film, wasn't it? Fuck that fucking spider. Fuck that. Fuck. I just saw the spider. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. I'm good. That got me. Goosebumps. Would rather watch the show. Anyone here ever seen Nothing But Trouble? I will defend this movie. I will always defend Nothing But Trouble. I've seen this movie so many fucking times. It is awesome. I do not get the hatred for it. I mean, you got Sleepwalkers. That was pretty solid. I never saw The Taking of Deborah Logan. But it's like a possession film, right? I just, the possession movies never really get me. So, it is the show? Oh, based. Yeah. Okay. Megan is Missing is like Lake Mungo. It has horrendous looking corpse at the end, but no real climax. Okay. But is the setup interesting? Like Lake Mungo had like the thing with Lake Mungo that got me was like the fucking whole weird thing where she was like fucking the neighbor. Like halfway through the movie, and they showed part of the fucking sex tape. So, Are You Afraid of the Dark is better than Goosebumps? Yes. But I would argue that Goosebumps was more interesting than Are You Afraid of the Dark? Are You Afraid of the Dark was aimed for like the 13 to 15 crowd. Goosebumps was aimed for the 7 to 12-year-old crowd. I'm not even kidding you. All those books that he wrote, and he wrote like 120 over like 5 years. All those books that he wrote of just Goosebumps, like he had other series he was doing as well. I recently did a whole fucking deep dive on R.L. Stine. It was really interesting. But those books were aimed for like the 7 to 12-year-old crowd because it was meant to be like scary fun. I'm trying to talk my child like into reading one because they're scary fun. Like it's not going to like scare her, but you know, the sex tape of like manga was unnecessarily extra. It really was, because you want to hear the funniest thing about that, Fourth? So like I started watching the movie at night. I got tired halfway through, whatever, and like went to bed. Woke up the next morning, and you know, I'm like, okay, you know, the kids are in the other room, and so I put my headphones on. I'm like, I'll finish watching the movie, and the sex part happens, and right as that happens, my girlfriend walks in. So the door was open. I had my headphones on. I'm watching the kids, you know, at the living room, through the bedroom, whatever. Girlfriend comes in. She looks at the TV. She sees the sex. She looks at me. She's like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, why are you watching this with the kids in the other room? I'm like, I didn't know it was there. I didn't know it was there. Let's see here. Mad Droid is a good Gooner sex bot movie, better than Megan Fox one she made. It gives you what you want. I mean, well, I'm not necessarily like, look, Moon, I know that like I play a Gooner on the internet, but no, I mean, no, I am one. Yeah. Okay, Tusk, never saw. Haven't seen Children of the Corn. I know Z Nation's a show. I hear Spree is really interesting. This is Joe Keery, right? Or am I thinking of something else? I've seen The Love Witch pop up in a number of places. I just never got into it here. Is this the Munsters, the TV show, most likely? Please Don't Feed the Children. This just came out like last year, right? Because of Michelle Dockery. I hear The Descent is good. I've never seen it, but I love me some Neil Marshall. All Hallows Eve. I tried looking through this for just like the Art the Clown bit, and like I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's there though. Freddy's Nightmares. What was this? Is this a movie? 2 seasons. Wes Craven's brainchild, Freddy Krueger leaves Elm Street for spine-tingling trips through the horrors of new worlds and dark nooks of the imagination. Oh, is this holy shit? This is just like a fucking what's it like, a Twilight Zone, but like, or Tales from the Crypt, but done with Freddy. Oh, that's cool. Haven't seen The Jester. Hush is amazing. God, Hush was good. Drag Me to Hell, not my favorite Sam Raimi movie. Not my favorite. I hear I Spit on Your Grave is really fucked up. The original Night of the Living Dead. Wait, hold on. This is the... No, this is the 1991. This is the Tom Savini one. I actually just got the 4K of this in Steelbook the other day. So, yeah. Twilight Zone, the movie, a good but classic, terrible. Well, that got its moments. Let's see. Hannibal Rising, I don't want to watch. I've heard Frozen is pretty decent, although kind of slow, but it's pretty terrifying. I watched 31 last year, really, really liked it. I don't get the hatred for 31. It's like way better than the Munsters. You know what? I have Creepshow on 4K. I've seen it a bunch. I've never watched Creepshow 2. Although I hear The Raft is really the only one on Creepshow 2 worth watching. There's The Descent. There's I Know Who Killed Me. That's the Lindsay Lohan one where she's like a stripper. That was a big deal back in the day. I think you see some titties. The Collector classic movie. Return to the House on Haunted Hill. What is this one? Hold on. Okay, rated R. This came out 2007. No one there that I recognize. Oh, Jeffrey Combs is in it. Okay. A group of people venture to the house on Haunted Hill in search of a cursed statue worth millions that will come at the cost of their souls. Okay. I'm sure it's a straight to DVD film. I saw Hell House LLC. It was okay. I don't know why they turned it into a massive fucking franchise. Holy shit. They got the Spirit Halloween movie on here. I need to watch it for shits and grins. What is this? Is this the 2005 remake of The Fog? It is. It is. But directed by Rupert Wainwright. What else did that guy do? That name sounds familiar. That name sounds really, really familiar. Rupert Wainwright. What did he direct? He did Stigmata. Wait, did he also do Blank Check from 1994? No. What? Filmography. TV. Okay, yeah, he did Blank Check, Stigmata, and The Fog, and like he did like one more episode of a show called Fear Itself in 2008. He hasn't done anything since then. That's so sad. You know, it's so fucking sad. How all that works. All right, yeah, but The Fog is the only thing I remember out of The Fog is there's like what was it, Panic at the Disco, right? When that cuts to them like the opening of the movie when like they're going to the island and you hear like I just remember that. Like the only thing from the movie I remember. I saw it in theaters. We all went to go see it. My brother, my sister, my stepdad, and my neighbor. We all went one afternoon. Let's see. Carrie was good. Never saw Bones. Never saw Valentine. But like it just never really struck me as interesting. Let's see. Oh, Vampires. Got that coming in 4K pretty soon. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Love Vampires. How was Bone Tomahawk? I hear that's fucked up. Yo, they got Maximum Overdrive. Oh shit, they got the mean one. Oh shit. Oh, this has got David Howard Thornton as the Grinch. And everything else. This was the one that like last year or 2 years ago or whatever. Like after it was like 2 years ago. They were gonna put out or maybe it was 2022. No, I forget what it was. But they were gonna put it out for free on the internet. And then like it just kind of blew up. And so then they said, no, we're not gonna do that. And they put it out for like Fathom events or whatever. And it made some money, but like I've just never seen it. Let's see. 47 Meters Down, haven't seen that one. Well, the Uncaged, a sequel. My Bloody Valentine. Is this the original or is this the remake? It's the remake. It's the remake. I mean, it's got a good cast of characters in it, but man, come on, man. Like the original's so good. Ooh, the Poughkeepsie tapes. This shit will fuck you up. I've seen this one a couple times. I like the Poughkeepsie tapes. I've seen it like 2-3 times. Well, how is Your Next? I know it's Adam Wingard, but I haven't seen it. I hear it's pretty good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I'm just going to say this. If they release Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation on 4K, I am buying that shit day fucking one. Because that movie is not good, but I love it. Odd Thomas is there. That's a pretty good one. Last Stephen Sommers movie. Went straight to home video, but had a good story. Sad kind of in the end, but, you know, Anton Yelchin did a good job. What do we got here? The Reanimator. I've never seen The Reanimator. Is it worth checking out? I know it's Jeffrey Combs and Barbara. Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton, right? Well, here's the thing with this one, okay? So this is the new 4K restoration. I highly doubt any of this is in 4K. They never broadcast in 4K. But anyway, so Stuart Gordon directed this one, all right? And Stuart Gordon, if you, I wonder if they have it here. So this is his page. Did he direct all these movies, or are these just stuff he's associated with? Let me see here. Because, he died 5 years ago, man. Shit. All right, let's see here. Filmography. Okay, hold up. Jumping over here. So he did Reanimator, From Beyond. Dude, he directed Dolls. He was a story writer on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So I was at a Halloween, like a Halloween party when I was in like middle school. And my cousin, had brought over a bunch of kids from school. We're all the same age. And we rented and watched Dolls. And when you're a kid, this movie scared the shit out of me. The fucking shit out of me when I was a kid. I've watched it a couple years back, and it's not scary anymore, but I liked it. you know. But he also worked on fucking Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Wow, Fortress. He did Body Snatchers. Whoa, with Gabrielle Anwar. UC Bush, by the way. He did The Dentist. Let's see, what else did he do? Dagon. I think I've heard of that one. So, he did Robot Jocks. Wow, man. He had a fucking, he had a career. He definitely had a career. But no, what was I thinking of? It was, the guy who did, who did Return of the, Living Dead, number 3, right? Return of the Living Dead Part 3. Okay. This was directed by Brian Usna. Okay. So Brian Usna, he was a producer on Reanimator and also Dolls and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So he basically worked alongside Stuart Gordon quite a bit. He wrote and directed Bride of the Reanimator. Okay. And then he also directed Return of the Living Dead Part 3, which is pretty much like a Reanimator movie more than a Return of the Living Dead film. So, he did Crying Freeman. Oh my God, the adaptation. Oh my God, they did a movie of this. It was directed and co-written by Christoph Gans. Dude, Christoph Gans is doing fucking Silent Hill, man. This is a Silent Hill guy. This is he did Silent Hill and he's doing the upcoming Return to Silent Hill. After not working for 12 years. Like, literally, Jesus Christ. Your Next has a Ready or Not vibe. Really? Okay. Maybe I'll give that one a watch. Okay. Ginger Snaps is the best werewolf movie. Okay. I'll tell you, I'll flip a coin. I'll pick one out. But I'm just having fun talking about these movies. But I got to pick one. So, yeah. All right. I think that's it. I think we're pretty good. There's a lot of shit here to watch. And I always enjoy talking with y'all about movies. Again, I go back to work tomorrow, so I will be doing all that. But yeah, keep an eye out on the community posts for some stuff. I did launch a Facebook group for Hollywood After Dark. I'm gonna start moving away from like Twitter. And these aren't all the horrors that they've got, right? They've got more horror than this. They got way more horror than that. Because they have it, you can do by you can do it by decade. On the app. So they have a lot more horror than that. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. And yeah, lots of hammer on Tubi. That is very true. Heard you've been getting hammered pretty hard. It's just facebook.com/Hollywood After Dark. That's what it is. I just launched it like the other day. I've been just kind of, building, figuring it out. Figured it's a good place to kind of communicate with everybody, post some articles, memes, things like that. I think there's a lot more positive conversation on fucking Facebook, and I just can't find myself to get on Twitter, not on Twitter, on Discord as often as I'd like. So yeah. What? I'm not saying anything, Parallax. You're inferring something. And this is a safe place. So if you want to, okay. Notify next time. You know what? I kind of honestly, I set it up for like 20 minutes before I went live. Cause I was stopped sleeping on YouTube's free film section. Is there a lot of good shit there? It's, if I'm going to watch ads on Tubi, I guess it's kind of whatever. Right. So, but yeah, anyway, I will chit chat with y'all later. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. And good night.